A video of a Californian woman confronting a pilot after he landed at 1:30 a.m. has just gone viral.
They're tired of you dumping heavy metals all over our county.
Well, I'm not the one to talk to about that.
No, but you are. But you're the one that's doing it. So
for the last several years, she's tracked these flights over Tulum County, collected over 20 rainwater samples and filed public records requests, revealing hazardously elevated levels of aluminum, barium, strontium, titanium, and magnesium, the very materials they use in their trails, as confirmed by air sample analysis collected up in the sky within the trails themselves.
At great effort and expense, we acquired a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration flying lab with top scientists in it, took samples at altitude.
Mine says live, Jerry.
Yeah, we're live. It was processed at one of the top testing institutions.
Oh, okay.
We found exactly what we knew we would find.
Fast forward to this week when she claims to have had enough. Using Flight Radar 24, she tracked a Beech C-90 King Air conducting repeated seeding flights over Sonora. She drove to the Modesto Jet Center to confront the pilots directly.
904 DK. That's who that is. He can go himself. At some point, I will get down to the airport. So this is the Modesto Jet Center, okay? Oh my God, that's them. Look at them in the building. They let me in. You're Tim, right?
I'm one of the other captains.
I don't hear anything.
We've been trying to reach you for a long time, and we are tired of you dumping.
I can't. All I can hear is your voice and Crystal's voice.
You can hear the video, Crystal?
Yeah, I can hear the video. It's
okay.
Great.
It's just your end.
Metals all over our county.
Well, I'm not the one to talk to about that.
No, but you are.
Got it now.
You're the one that's doing it. So I've been taking rain samples. I have over 20 samples. And every time you fly, we get high amounts of aluminum, barium, strontium, titanium, magnesium.
You can talk to
I've tried.
That,
I've called them, and they're not calling me back. So we're now going to bring something legal against your company. We are real people underneath what you're doing. You spray right over our houses now. You did 2 flights, 2 3-hour flights.
It's public knowledge.
It's not really, though. That's the problem. We've been doing this for 30 years. They are now selling aluminum, genetically modified seeds to grow food because our soil is so contaminated. There's an early onset dementia. There's Alzheimer's. Things are starting to happen to people's health.
That's not my department.
I know the goal.
Did you drive here today?
Yes, we did.
You're contributing to the pollution in the environment.
No, what is your name again?
It's none of your business.
It is my business because you're over my head dumping over our families
We're not
and our
doing
houses.
anything illegal, so
It's not illegal yet. You are contributing to dumping heavy metals on our soils and in our air. We're breathing it, we're drinking it, we're eating it. It matters to me.
I understand that. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm just saying
It does matter.
I'm not the one for you to bring these concerns to.
We do the best we can to bring awareness to it.
Yeah, it's just proper awareness, and it's not serious stuff.
What's everyone think? Welcome, everyone. Dennis and where'd he go? And Crystal?
I think he's having computer issues.
Yeah.
I love this video. I've never seen it. I don't know who that is, but I've got to find out because I have flight tracker. I have Flight Radar, and I can track these planes and these aircrafts above, and I screenshot them all the time and the patterns that they're making. I was in Los Angeles yesterday, and we were in LA, and I was screenshotting the patterns. It was insane, and that takes a lot of nerve to go to the airport and get in and confront someone who's doing it. That is amazing.
Wow. Have you ever seen anything? Well, don't you think Trump should know that? It looks like Dennis is back. There he is. Now he's back. Did you switch computers?
Switch phones.
Oh, okay. You missed.
Which
really
means I also switch personalities.
Oh, there you go. Anyways, you missed a very good video. You have to go back and watch it. One can and that. So tell us some things, Crystal, that you've been covering this issue for quite a while.
Yeah, I sure have. And as a matter of fact, Doge did go into the NOAA headquarters that she was just talking about, and they basically are cutting jobs there. So they know, yes, they do know about this, and it's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and you see the people on the weather all the time talking about these atmospheric whatever, you always hear them using this language. I even found out that there are specific meteorologists that decide when to do, let's just say, cloud seeding. They call it cloud seeding, but we know it's way more than that. But yeah, the Trump administration does know. And as a matter of fact, now that we have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. now appointed, he also knows this, and he has said he's going to stop this crime.
Yeah. What do you know about it, Dennis?
Yeah. I've seen days where it would be, there wouldn't be, it would be like a, what do they call it, a bluebird sky, not a cloud in the sky. And then you'd see jet after jet after jet leaving a chemtrail. This started out very thin and just continued to expand. And by the time it reached around noontime, the sky was gray. It wasn't like overcast as much as it was really hazy. And it was obvious what it was coming from. You could even see it sometimes taking place in other areas. But Pennsylvania is notorious for them doing. We have a lot of farms around here. We have a lot of farm animals. And I believe that's why they're targeting PA.
Well, I think California gets a lot of it, don't you? In California?
Oh, it is
Chemtrails?
so huge. I mean, first of all, the Trump administration, just to go back to him one more time, he just appointed a new head over the NOAA. He is a scientist. I don't know anything about him. I'll have to look him up, Neil Jacobs. I just wanted to bring that up so we can go back to that, another time. But we have such a huge situation. They hide it, and it's under big water projects. They call it the Santa Ana Watershed Project Authority. So basically what I did with my research is I looked into it, and I found out who are these people, who funds this crap, like who the hell is trying to do this to us? And they hide it up under all kinds of different water agencies that are actually doing it. And I found so much information. It's mind blowing.
Yeah. You brought up some tabs here that you can control from your side. I can't start them or stop them from my side. I can only open and close the whole thing. So which one do you want to talk to us about first?
Well, I'm since we're talking about this website, which is under a .gov, so it's completely legit. What I did find out is a lot of times we think that in the sky we have just aircraft doing all this type of poisonous, coming down with the aircraft, but it's also being done through these cloud nuclei generators, and they give you these acronyms that you'll never remember. And I think they hide them very well. There's actually a map. So they make a lot of noise. You hear booms all the time. It's either
are these in California or
in California. People are reporting the booms, which is another subject. I think that has to do with Elon Musk making tunnels. But the stuff that's happening, they also use automated high output ground seeding, and they have this equipment. And they don't necessarily need to do it on the aircraft, but they actually can do it in different ways. And they have maps. If you can go to some of your water companies, for instance, and you can see maps of where they've put this equipment. They have them hidden in all these locations. Like if I clicked on this really big, I'm assuming you're showing this right now.
Yeah, it's showing.
Basically, you can see two things I just talked about, the AHOG in blue. They're just hidden in these locations. And so they're actually doing, they call it cloud seeding, but I know it's way more than that. And some of these are remotely operated. So they just plant the equipment, and they're just remotely operating it.
Wow. Go ahead, Dennis.
Crystal, are you saying that they're aerosoling it using steam or water vapor?
They did that in Alaska, I know.
Well, we know that they're using silver iodide, and they're admitting to some things here on this website that they're using. But I know in my area, of course, they wreck the sky. I don't even see a blue sky anymore. But it can just get so frigid. Have you not noticed how the atmosphere can get so cold? Like it'll say a certain temperature, but it just feels so much colder. Is that happening where you are?
Yeah, we're going into another stint of like extreme cold weather here. This is the coldest winter that we've had for decades. I mean, we had a week of almost every night was below zero. Now, this week we're supposed to have several days in a row where the evenings are going down to single digits. But it really is frigid. It's a penetrating type cold.
They're using dry ice.
Yeah. Well, I've got a video on how they seed these clouds. If you want to see it, it's not real.
Sure, but I know they're doing way. I just want to say they're doing way more than that.
Yeah. This is how they're doing it. Now they'll talk about how they're doing it.
It is so incredibly hot in Dubai that they are creating rain for themselves.
They're doing it here, though.
Did you have any idea that Dubai is creating artificial rain to battle rising temperatures?
I won't play the whole thing, but just enough to get past the part where how they're doing
You must be wondering how that is even possible.
Can you hear it, Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's a
Let's
tower.
look at how this unusual artificial rain is induced.
So these are the atmospheric rivers that they're talking about now.
I think so. They're calling it that. Yeah, they're made up.
I mean, it's like torrential rain that is California's experiencing it now.
Manipulate the clouds. They are hitting these clouds with an electric shock,
It's like a
inducing
stealth
the
bomber.
water droplets to stick together and form heavy and voluminous clouds. Once these clouds are heavy enough, they rain water, and this is how artificial rain is created.
Now imagine doing it in some area that has moisture in the air.
See, I've been looking at this so long with some other people, Tiffany and some other people. We have to go out. We have to do what Trump and Elon Musk are doing. We have to dry the funding up. And so I found out who the hell's funding it on the actual website I just pulled up. It's all these water companies at the very bottom of the website. These are you know how the lady drove to the place and she was telling the
So if they can do this, why did you have all those fires in California? Because he's rerouting the water, isn't he?
So let me just finish this point.
Okay.
So on this website, all these people are private funders. USGS, Department of Water Resources is funding it. This is funding it. All these are all at the bottom.
I almost guarantee if you track them all back, a lot of them go to BlackRock and those people.
Yeah, so we need to get we can talk about it. We are being impacted by this, and there's a few states that are trying to ban geoengineering. But until we go after these MFers that are funding this shit, I hate to say it just like that,
We're just using government money to do it too.
We're not going to get anywhere. And I don't know if the whatever they're doing with cutting the staff down, if that's going to make a difference. But we've been talking about this till we're blue in the face. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm ready to see these people dry up with their funds, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So Crystal, they may have cut off the present funding, but you know that there's slush funds all over the place where they have stashes of money that they can go into, right?
Okay.
For a while, I think most of it somehow they get government money to research stuff supposedly, and then they use it against us. I think they don't want us to have this world population. They want to get rid of most of us.
But here's some of the donors right there. You're seeing them. I just want everybody to see this. These are some of the donors of doing this.
I've never heard of any of them myself.
In California, you're asking me about my state. I'm showing you.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
In the state of California, I have dug this up.
Mm-hmm. Have you run into dealt with any of these companies before? Or
no, because I just figured this out.
Okay.
You know how I figured this out? I actually went to ChatGPT and I started asking ChatGPT a bunch of questions.
Mm-hmm.
I use AI to uncover who is funding this. and give me some direct answers. And I'm getting answers through ChatGPT.
Wow. Well, hopefully you're getting the right ones. It would seem like it would. You know, it would have to be.
Are
legal.
these being federal funded or state funded, or how are these organizations getting the money to carry this stuff out?
Good question.
The program started in November of 2023 that I know of on this website. And they're pretending that it stopped after the fires and everything. But this is open source information that I have looked at a lot. And so they're in some test state with this. I don't really know all about it, but I did uncover this. And there's a board of people that are working here, obviously, that we could go after.
Well, go ahead.
There's more people involved in this initiative since Robert Kennedy was assigned, just got confirmed. There's a whole board of people that are trying to be they're trying to go to the White House and start up a whole committee. And I think they are on top of this.
Oh, to get into it. But now, really, Trump has probably got 2 years to do this, or else, you know, which are trying to stop committee appointments like Kash Patel and stuff. That would be the one that would be prosecuting them, right? Or going after them. Paying Ball and the prosecuting.
To me, this is this is one of the number one things that's hurting everything.
Well, wouldn't this be more under the EPA?
Right. Is that where?
And food and protection too, as well, right?
Well, they haven't even started to audit the EPA yet.
No. Boy.
So, and if they're culprits with this, have they shut the spigots off yet?
I don't know that they have. He's written a lot of mandates on cutting off some money on different things, but usually most of the stuff that they've
see, here's where they're admitting it. They call, first of all, I just want to say this is so much more than cloud seeding. We know that when this stuff comes down from the air, we have respiratory problems. Our eyes are irritated. We can't breathe. It is causing dementia. There's all kinds of stuff. But they're admitting that it is in California, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, North Dakota, Utah, and Idaho. But you're here with us from Pennsylvania and New York. I'm sure Jerry is doing it too, right?
I'm in New York. Yeah, they're doing it in New York. I guarantee you.
And they're using silver iodide into the clouds, and that is toxic.
I know they've used aluminum too for some reason. Aluminum. Yeah, it looks like just a little lower. You got a video there.
I'm a natural health practitioner, Crystal, and I have seen such a rise in maladies, especially Alzheimer's, dementia, autoimmune, cognitive decline, rapid cognitive decline, rashes on people, food allergies, just it's like people's whole mechanism is just going haywire. But the worst is the cognitive issues like dementia and Alzheimer's. Now, I think that there's a section point, an intersection point of also a lot of these people have had multiple sticks in the arms. Some of them getting every possible booster and flu shot with booster in it and everything that they possibly can. But still, in the last year, my sense of taste has changed.
Really?
I use stevia and monk fruit, which are kind of like mock sweeteners, natural mock sweeteners. They don't even taste sweet to me anymore.
Well, he's changing a lot of the dyes in the foods and everything. He's going to. I don't think it's out yet. So on this chemtrail thing, watch this, Crystal. You had it up there, but we weren't playing it. Watch this. Watch when they're actually doing this, because it shows
this
right
is
when they run out of fuel.
I saw this all summer long. This is exactly what it looks like.
Well, watch what happens. That you can tell exactly when it runs out. I used to think that was a vapor trail, which you would have a little bit, but it would dissipate a lot faster than it does.
Vapor trail
Watch the
dissipates
whole
in
thing.
less
It's only
than a
15
minute.
seconds. They ran out.
Oh yeah.
You ever seen
Oh, yeah.
anything like that?
And John Graff, I have a friend that has a YouTube channel. It's John Graf, and he can prove every single one. All the it's not a conspiracy theory at all. He has proof on his channel, YouTube channel, and he's caught all these people.
Mm-hmm. Well, just like that video I have. Do you want that video I've got, Crystal? The one I showed you at the beginning?
Oh yeah, I would love that.
Okay, I'll post it on something and then share you the link. That's the best way to get it to you. Up on a platform, probably Cloud Hub or something.
But I was going to say, the lady who is a group with people going to the White House to try to stop all this. Her name is Renette Senum, Senum. And so when Kennedy was confirmed as HHS Secretary, Save Our Skies open letter to the White House announced International Geoengineering Panel. This is incredible because they would be on our side, okay? As a new era in health policy begins, our open letter to the White House highlights urgent atmospheric concerns. Register now for our groundbreaking international U.S. panel on geoengineering. And I think they're doing something next Wednesday night. And I did register for this because I really want to follow this.
Now, do you think they're just doing this over North America, or I know they're doing it over Europe, but are they doing it over China and all that? I kind of doubt they are over there.
Well, China's, you look at any time you see China, they have terrible skies. It's yellow.
Well, they also burn tons of coal and stuff, though. And they pollute like crazy.
I think China's a model, is what I always thought. But I don't know.
Maybe they don't want their people living past 65 either, you know.
Right. And
so,
that makes sense.
So Dennis, they're driving up the health car thing. So do you think that's so the med companies can make a lot of money too?
I don't know.
They're what? They're driving up what?
Driving up the med companies, you know, all the drugs they want to give us and keep us.
Well, I've mentioned before, I said, I don't think they want to kill us as much as they want us to be sick. If we're sick, we have to buy medicine. If we have to buy medicine, medications, drugs, you know, they want us to take them chronically. Who owns the, processed food companies? The pharmaceutical companies. And then, they put things like high fructose corn syrup, which is one of the most highly addictive substances on the face of the earth. If you take in high fructose corn syrup 3 times a day for 10 days, you're addicted. You can't even taste other sugars after that period of time. And then it messes up your whole metabolism. So you end up with insulin resistance and diabetes and, obesity, morbid obesity and acne and everything else and digestive disorders. And the next thing you know, hey, we got to put you on this new drug that'll help you lose fat.
Well, Ozempic, and that's got side effects too. And memory too, it hurts on that stuff. So do you think Kenny will be able to fight this and fix everything, especially in the first 2 years?
Well, I mean, for years, we had the FBI, Ted Gunderson. You can just look back at so many videos. He was murdered for speaking up. I mean, it had to be a whole new day. And it looks like it is a whole new day in America. But they don't go after this. And I would say this is troubling for us. If this panel is not appointed to the White House, Renette and her group, they seem to legitimately really, want to stop this and have a lot of evidence. They were taking labs of water samples. And that's how I learned how to watch my sky, with getting the flight radar 24, so that I could see who are these devils doing this, and I could track them.
Yeah. So how long have you been following this, Crystal?
Well,
Did you do it when you were with Liz Grogan and then?
No, because that was about when the devil became the governor here. We'll just call him the devil. The devil, Satan himself became the governor in California. And so that was in 2018, and that's when I noticed in the sky things got very loud. And then after COVID, it's just I was trying to track this, and so we have so many helicopters flying over us and other aircrafts that I had to do something to know who this was flying above me.
Yeah. Yeah, and once you go down that rabbit hole, you can't come back out. I tell you, finding out all this stuff. So I don't know. I'm hopeful. They got to get Cash Patel in there because the Epstein files are going to release a lot of people are going to go down with that. I think my personal.
I mean, I don't know who's connected to this part of the crime, but it's really it would make, if we could get our skies back, that would. And get our vitamin D. Bill Gates is of course behind this.
Oh yeah.
And the WHO.
Well, he's one of the ones that want to kill a lot of us off, though. He wants the population.
The World Health Organization, which we're finding.
He pulled us out of that, though.
Out of that, all these people are the opposite of what they're acting like they're doing. They're obviously trying to kill us.
Oh yeah. Although, like Dennis says, they want us sick for long enough to make a profit. So they extract all the wealth. Once they get control of all that, then they control you forever. If you're desperate just to live, then they can control you. You know what I'm saying? Once they get full control of that. Let me switch banners.
Crystal, do you have any of the Osprey helicopters coming over you? They're the giant ones that they convert from an airplane into a helicopter.
Okay, I had to look it up. Because yes, I've seen these things, and so I've learned so much about these aircrafts because I have seen an Osprey. I do know what that is and they go, oh, the military is just so close by, in San Diego, and so I've seen floods of them coming over. Like I thought we were in a freaking war before. I was like, I become scared seeing all this. But yeah, I didn't know what they did.
Oh, those are scary. In right after the 2020 election. I was living in Westmoreland County in Pennsylvania. And right now I live like 20 minutes away from where Trump was shot.
Oh, wow.
In fact, the bullet passed right through my neighbor. No, I'm kidding.
No, are you actually in Ohio though? Because you're near that border, right?
No. I'm in Slippery Rock, PA. Butler is where Trump was shot, which is like 20 minutes.
I've driven down there. That gets really slippery during the winter driving through there.
Well, the creek,
it was named really well. It gets
well, Slippery Rock Creek has there's a growth on the rocks that makes them very slippery. That's where the name comes from. Anyway.
Oh man, that's some of the worst roads during the winter to go down.
Yeah, tell me about it. They weren't real nice today. But when I was living in Westmoreland County, right after the election, the military was running these Osprey over top of Westmoreland County. They were close enough that if you were outside, you could feel the air coming down from the Osprey onto the ground. I mean, it wasn't like it was messing your hair up or anything, but you could actually feel the current from it, and it was shaking our houses. And they said that they were doing it as training drills in case that there was some kind of uprising because of the results of the 2020 election.
Oh, wow. They were so prepared.
Yeah, lying again, right?
But they did it for 3 straight nights, every night for 3 nights, and it was disturbing.
Do you think they expected us to outvote their cheating?
What's that?
I'm asking both of you. Do you think they expected us to outvote their cheating? Because we outvoted
this in the 24 election or 2020?
24. They cheated in this one as well.
No, I don't.
Just couldn't stuff the ballots as much. They didn't have the jab lockup thing to stuff the ballots with drop.
Well, I won't get into that tonight, but I think that once that they thought that there was a possibility they weren't going to win, that they couldn't cheat enough to win, that they may have just conceded the point and gone to Plan B.
Senate races, House races, they've got.
Well, or like I've said many times, even on your show, I think that they're willing and able to pull a scorched earth type event, where they could
release another
World
pandemic,
War
right?
III, release a contagion like H5N1. If it is made, if it's weaponized strongly enough, it has a 50% mortality rate. That's nothing to play around with. I mean,
Well, the panic with that would be serious.
yeah, and Canada is already shutting down. I mean, there's hardly any, feathered creatures up there. They're just shutting all of it down. But isn't it interesting how the H5N1 is only affecting the egg-laying chickens?
Oh gosh, it's just ridiculous. There's a war.
That something to do with the yolks of the eggs or something is really good for you against some of those things that they're trying to release, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, eggs are
Isn't it?
like the near perfect food. They really are.
Yes.
I seen something on someone's video about the egg yolk. The reason why they're going after this so bad is because they don't want us to be able to heal ourselves.
Oh, that makes sense. It actually doesn't hurt your cholesterol at all. It's such a lie. Everything we've been
your brain needs cholesterol. Your brain is it functions on cholesterol. The whole cholesterol thing is nothing but, I gotta watch what I say. It's overblown.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Well, you know what? How we were talking about the aircraft, I figured out that there's surveillance aircraft over us, and it was confirmed because it sounds like landscapers. Like if anybody has landscapers in their neighborhood, this is the sound above, and so they are doing surveillance drones. It's autonomous, and they're aircraft, and they're actually the size of different sizes. They can be a size of jet, but they come down so low. You made such a good point, Dennis, that it blows so much air, and so that's
to circulate it more.
Well, this is also why I had to get the Flight Radar 24 tracker app, because I was trying to understand, why is this jet so low? Why is this all these helicopters all the time? And then I found out that there was a time where my husband and I were going out to take the dogs out, and this was right after COVID. And as soon as we walked out, there had to be some sort of a heat thermal type situation. The aircraft would come right over us, and we felt that they were spraying chemicals directly onto us. It was just wild. It was a wild. I think they do different tests out here. We're still alive. We're okay. But I definitely can tell that memory has. I can see that is definitely something they want to take from people.
Okay, let me add to that, Crystal. A friend of mine who started out in the Navy ended up in the Army as a beret, and then when he retired from the beret, he went into military intelligence in the Air Force. Do you know what he did? AWACS. AWACS is surveillance from a plane. He only did it for a year. It burned him out. He's trilingual. He speaks fluent Russian, English, and Arabic. And he was flying in different parts of the world and listening to chatter. He was monitoring. They were monitoring people. And
they're going to talk about an uprising.
Doing Russian and Arabic are the two toughest to do both, because my friend Diane also does that. Levine, and she's also.
So his job was to listen to people, what they were talking about.
Yeah, he could. It wasn't a two-way thing. I'm trying to think how many years ago this was. He's retired now. He went back into the beret until he retired. But anyway, I'm going to say that was probably 10 or 12 years ago that he was doing that. I don't know where he was. They debrief them before they let them out of the military. They tell them what they cannot say, what they can say. So he shared enough with me to tell me what he was doing, but then he finished it with, he said, if I tell you anything more, I'm going to have to kill you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely happening. So I figured out some things. And There's
Go ahead.
a lot going on, and there's a lot for the White House administration to really take down. I mean, this is not small, and this will take some time, and it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, because we're being poisoned, our skies are being changed, our sun's being blocked, our vitamin D is being, kept from us to stay healthy.
Yeah. So,
That's
Crystal, what's your actionable plan for us to help with this?
Well, my goal is to really see Renette Seenum, who I just mentioned, has the ear of the president. She has the ear of the president through the confirmation of RFK Jr., which is amazing. And he did address his topic on, you can look on X, I had it up a second ago, back in August of 2024. He said, we're going to stop this crime. He responded to, show you who it was.
Yeah, you put it up on your screen and I'll bring it up on
he responded to, B Gates is a psycho. He responded to that person. He actually said, we are going to stop this crime. So to me.
Oh, yeah, there you have it right there in the middle.
Yeah. Now that we have the correct White House.
So he knows it's a crime. The chemtrails.
Yeah, he's got to know. I mean, this person is showing that the sun is blocked, and obviously there's more to this than just contrails and there's stuff being left behind. We have to have the ear of someone that cares, and it does appear that a lot of organizations are being, chopped in half, and there's stuff being revealed. This is such a big one. This is more of a worldwide thing. I'm just going to see what Renette and those guys do. If they get appointed to a panel like they're requesting with the White House, that would be a good first start, because I really don't know what to do.
Well, there's going to be so much news, too. It's going to be saturated because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. Do you think Trump has the Democrats on their heels and he'll be able to do this? Or they'll do a red flag?
Well, of course they'll do false flags. They're doing it all the time, but they are smart, and they released they floodgated it. They let it it's happening so fast. Even the arm of the media, the propaganda arm can't even keep up. The talking heads, those people, they can't even keep up to report. They're overwhelmed.
Well, they went after the funding of the BBC and Politico and all them. That's going to hurt them, you know what I mean, in terms of lying to us. CNN's falling. Fox News is starting to invest in like Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and stuff on their shows. I'm wondering if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know.
The only other thing is we could show up to these our meetings with their cities, and we could bring these subjects up and get very involved. That is another way to do this.
Also record it, so you can see the reactions of the panels up there. Sometimes I kick them all out and close down the meetings and stuff like that. That tells you right there that they won't do anything or they're against you. But if they do really listen to you and hear you out and try to do stuff, that's a different story.
That would
so
be
Chris,
to do it, yeah.
When you first found out about this, did you kind of go through the 5 stages of grief? I mean, because you seem pretty level-headed now. I mean, you actually the 6th stage of grief, which most people don't really reach, is one of resolve and proactivity. But it seems like you've gone through, the shock thing and anger and I'm not saying that you're not still angry at times, but you seem to be pretty level-headed at this stage.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I just really know that I'm sick of showing pictures and just trying to point it out. It's obviously happening. If we don't do something about it, we're just wasting our breath.
Well, it took me a while to believe it that was anything more than vapor trails at first, watching Crystal for a while, I guess. So you converted me. I think the other thing is, part of you wants to believe that no, they wouldn't do that to us, would they?
No, I connected with some really good people. My friendship with John Graff has really helped me. It helped me process just to have someone else to talk about this. that is exposing it, it helps to have a friend that is seeing this operation go on. And then I connected with some more people who really are concerned, and they also validated this, but they have a solution, because if we don't have a solution,
what is the solution?
Is going after.
Oh, okay. I thought you maybe somehow to get this stuff out of your system.
Oh yeah, I mean that's something Jerry, you and I've been talking about that,
Yeah.
and I think that that's something that we
A
really
lot of
need
people want to know how
to.
to get the jab out of you, the spike protein. A lot of people want to know how to get that out
Oh,
of you.
you know, bromelain, NAC is probably the most reliable, combination for getting the jab out of your system. Also, red light therapy, near and far red light therapy, and hypothermic, like going into a sauna or steam room, because that activates your thymus gland, which produces killer cells that go to the cells and actually get the mRNA out of the cells. So you have to temporarily raise your body temperature up to like around, 102, keep it up there for a period of time, cool down slowly. And red near and far light therapy, which near red light therapy is also, we call it infrared, which is colorless, right? So it heats, but you don't see it. You'll see it with people that have, that raise chicks, and they'll put the light on them. That's red light therapy. That's infrared. I mean, you could buy one of these infrared bulbs that has both near and far light therapy for like $10. And you have to watch the near infrared because it heats and it can burn you. But the far infrared light doesn't it doesn't heat up very much your skin, but it does activate the mitochondria, the energy producing aspect of the cell. In fact, I'm working with some people now to do some seminars on this. How to repair your body, how to make your body resilient. We're in a situation now where we're being bombarded with bad news and with actual bad things that are happening. So it affects the part of the brain called the amygdala, which is called the lizard brain. And that's the fight, flight, freeze, fawn part of the brain. And a lot of people, when it happens, they end up just giving up. And other ones want to run. They want to build a shelter underground or do whatever they can do. But I think the best thing to do is to make ourselves more resilient. And when you make yourself resilient by physical resilience, like things like exercising properly to increase the zone of where you're able to handle stress. That's called homeostasis, the homeostatic zone. The wider that zone, the more stress that you can handle. Our guts are destroyed. Our digestive systems are destroyed, and we need to rebuild them. And that's pretty simple. There's like one bacteria that you could get in your system. It's called Lactobacillus reuteri. And if you look that up, look up super gut, and the doctor that stresses this whole thing tells you how to make your own yogurt out of Lactobacillus reuteri. But you can also use kefir that's on the market and drink like 4 ounces of that a day. And that rebuilds the gut pretty doggone quickly. And you start seeing food allergies disappearing, digestive problems, your thinking gets clearer, muscle tone gets better, your complexion gets better. And Crystal, if you use the red light therapy, especially the far red light therapy, the one that is just a red light, it makes your skin smoother and younger.
Oh,
I have red light therapy. I love it. I've
you use it? Okay.
I've known about it for years.
Never heard of it.
If you ever get sick, it's just a whole nother show. I mean, it is amazing. And
do you use the whole body or just for your face, or what do you do?
I have a panel, and I also, let's see, I was thinking about buying the bulb, which would be better, especially since we don't have sun anymore. It's just important to have some sort of a light.
Will that give you vitamin D?
It's not And my
75.
things
Go ahead,
too.
Crystal.
Well, my husband has a glove because he hurt his hand
For
and
arthritis.
for arthritis, and there's just different devices. You just have to use it.
Yeah, a 75 or 100-watt bulb, infrared bulb with a reflective, one of those like a cone that you put it in, and you can use that. It works fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to
I
pay
thought both of
hundreds
you
of
know a lot
dollars.
about this topic.
Well,
So
I'm working with people. I'm working with my people that have developed Alzheimer's, and
Mhm.
I'm seeing people age so fast now. I mean, it's like exponential aging.
Well,
That is correct because of this chemtrail stuff, right?
I
and
think a
that
lot
was
of it is chemtrail. I think people are getting sick. I think the chickens are getting sick. Birds. We have a note out by the Pennsylvania. It's the Forest Rangers and that whole organization here. It's not the EPA, and they're saying if you have dead birds in your yard, call us. Oh, so you could shut everything down again? No, I don't see any dead birds in my yard.
Well, the frequencies, they're also using EMF frequencies. That's very important. And the reason I met some people, I met Ilana Freeland, who I have her book pulled up. She did a video with me on my show.
Yeah, the zero
Humanism.
humanism.
So I've met some, so Dennis, another thing is I met so many people that know about this topic and beyond, like the nanotechnology and just deep things that are terrifying.
Now, did they get this nanotechnology in the jab, or they put it in the air, or in their food, or how they get
Probably all of it.
They
Yeah, that's why you can't escape it. They're putting it everywhere. They're bombarding us with it. That's why I'm stressing that we need to build resilience.
Now,
if we're
how are the people behind this keeping it out of their systems?
I don't think they're human. I came to the conclusion. Either they're just really brainwashed.
Or they know how to treat themselves without letting us know how to do
They
it.
probably take vitamins, I figured out, and they also just really believe who they're being paid by. They don't have families. Ted Gunderson talked about this subject. He said they just don't have actually, it was Cody Snodgrass who talked about this project, which is called, what is it, something rainfall? I can't remember the name. The name of this operation. Project. They named it, and so he was saying that the pilots don't have families. They're
Project 2030 or something like that.
No, it was Indigo.
Oh, okay.
Project Indigo. People listening may know about this. The research that I was doing has been a lot covered up and not as easily to find it all. I was doing it in 2022. They talked about the people that are spraying the skies, that they're brainwashed. They are, getting paid a lot of money, and they get sick themselves and they die early. I saw lots of stuff about this.
So they're just cogs in a machine. They're replaceable. So they just need somebody to do it, and then they're going to die. So, but they're probably compensating them really well while they are alive, right?
And the girl in the beginning, she went after the pilot, which is something, but he may really think that what he's doing is helping. He might be that brainwashed.
Or it could be like Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, or the other one is Gulag Archipelago, Solzhenitsyn's book on how people who were your next door neighbor could end up being, the guard in your concentration camp. And people will do evil things if they're not principled.
Some are saying to drink tea and don't drink out of plastic containers. What's everyone think about that?
I think they're right. That can leach bad stuff.
Or herbal teas and to drink the herbal teas and not use plastic containers. Well, everything I had is plastic. Even my tournament cards.
I mean, I think taking as many measures as you can to keep as much of the, those things out of your system. but they're still going to get in. They're in our water. They're in our food. They're in organic foods because it's in the air and it's in the water. So resilience is going to help. You know, we have two substances in our body that basically SOD and MSM, which are two scavengers in our body that get rid of like 99 point, I'm talking in a person whose immune system is working well, like 99.9% of all these chemicals out of your body. But that 1/10 of 1% is still a lot.
Yeah.
And the more resilient that we are, the more, the better, stronger that we make our body. I like the word resilient better than strong because, you know, strength is kind of a limited thing. We always think of strength as ability to lift or move something. And resilience is much more. It's also defensive. You know, it can withstand a lot. And you know, but there is one exercise, and I've been trying to educate people on this for probably 25 years. It's the only exercise that you could do that exercises and strengthens every single cell in your body. There's no other exercise that does it.
What's that?
A mini trampoline.
Really?
Like
yes.
Just bouncing up and down on
No, not bounce, bound. Lightly bound. If you lightly bound on a trampoline, you put something on your body called gravitational force. So
swimming.
Okay, if you jump off a building that's 100 feet high and you land, you're probably going to break your legs, right?
You die.
Well, you may die, but yeah, it's going to do some damage. But if you're 500 feet up, why is that going to even do more damage? In fact, you're probably just going to be a spot.
Yeah,
afterwards.
You double your speed every foot you fall up to 500
32
feet.
Right, 32 feet per second is
500 feet.
Right. So you're going to splat. But if you use a mini trampoline and you don't leave the surface of the trampoline, you just bound lightly, you're putting a gravitational force of about 1.25 on every single cell in your body, your brain, your liver, your heart, absolutely everything. And you can make all of those organs 25% stronger. It'd be like if you go on a planet.
How long do you have to do that every day or something?
Can I just jump rope? Or do I have to have a
Well, you don't, you know, if you end up, the reason they took them off of the market is because people were jumping on them and getting hurt. You don't have to jump. You just bound, hold on to something and bound.
Okay, so you use a jump rope. You actually need that type of a bounce. You need that.
Oh yeah, because it develops momentum. When your weight comes down, you're building force on the trampoline.
So when almost like on a mattress or something, even.
Yeah, and it increases the gravitational force. When you're jumping up and down, there is a little bit of that, but this exponentially makes it much stronger. So at $25, they were selling them Walmart the other day for $25 in the kids section. And I mean, and they're fine, you know. I think they say they hold up to like 200 pounds or something like that. But even if you need to buy one, if you go online, you can buy them for not much more than that. At one time, the really good ones were selling for like $400 and $500, and those things are built like a Mack truck. I picked one up, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years ago, one of those $500 ones for like $30, brand new in the box.
So just do your research. I don't have a lot of spare room to get anything. I do the treadmill a bit, you know, and it's helped me.
Yeah, nothing works your body like that. And when you do it, you'll be surprised. After a short period of time, you're starting to breathe heavy. And it's like, why am I doing this? I'm barely doing anything, because you're putting a 25 increase. It'd be like if you went on to a planet. Let's say you went on to Jupiter, and Jupiter has a G-force of something like 3 or 4 or something. I don't know exactly what it is. So I'm just giving you a number. So you go on Jupiter, you get beamed up onto Jupiter every day. And all you do is just walk around for an hour. Well, first off, you wouldn't be able to.
Wearing just like a weight suit or something. With a weight
Lifting weights?
No, put a weight
Well-
suit on, like a heavy coat.
Oh, no, because it doesn't change the G-force. You have to have something that builds kinetic energy and increases velocity. And the only way you could do that is you have something that absorbs the energy from you coming down, puts it back onto your body. When you go down, it's going to exert that G-force on your whole body. So when you go back up in the air, you're weighing a lot more when you're down at the bottom there.
Less than
I am
a lot.
sold. I'm getting what do you call that thing? Ready?
A rebounder. Yeah, you'll love it. Yeah, I mean they're great.
That
But
sounds
it's an amazing thing. It was actually developed by NASA back in the 19.
Well, they put people up in
60s.
space with a weightlessness, so they need to exercise to stay healthy.
Well, that was the reason they were making the astronauts. Yeah, they was
Yeah.
part of their
I've seen 'em.
training.
They put straps over the shoulder and make them do stuff. You know, they'd strap them down, and then so they had some tension against them to simulate gravity for them.
That sounds.
But-
and thank you for telling me about that. That is an incredible healing mechanism that you found. It sounds like.
Yeah,
What do
it
you
helps
got
your eyes. It helped. It literally increases the resilience of every single cell in your body. And there's nothing. The only other way you could do that would be go onto a planet that has where the mass of the planet is much larger, and you would weigh much more. So if Crystal, who only weighs 93 pounds, went on to Jupiter, you'd weigh 400 pounds.
Oh, I would hate Jupiter. Give me.
Yeah, you would, but think what your body
you're
would
11
look like.
times heavier there.
Not enough.
Jupiter,
Your
you're 11
face
times
would
heavier.
sag. Yeah, I mean, everything would sag because it doesn't have the resilience to be able to withstand that kind of gravitational
I
force.
don't think your bone structure would take it. You weigh 11 times heavier.
Well, we're not worried about.
It'd be
we
more
are
like
worried about
Saturn
Mars.
or something.
I would worry about Mars because Elon Musk, but that is not our subject.
Mars should be slightly lighter.
I
than
did
us.
Yeah, you'd be lighter, right?
Let's ask Chat GPT because I want everybody to use this. This is open AI. This is Sam Altman. I know that we have a feud with Elon Musk, and he's trying to buy this, but it's not working out for him. He's in broke with his AI. But I just asked what companies are funding geoengineering programs. What came up first was the NOAA, which
It's the United States.
right here, and Doge just went in and cut half the workforce. So are they on it already? I hope so, which is nice. But there's other organizations that came up that have to do with solar radiation management, which they had in Congress when they were doing the bill to ban SRM, in Tennessee. But they found out the wind blows, and so they really, it doesn't stop. It didn't stop it really. They were saying it didn't work.
Mhm.
So there's other organizations, there's private companies that came up. One of them says it's based right here in Los Angeles. So there's a lot of technology that it's listing, and there's places it says North Carolina,
Yeah. San
San
Francisco.
United Kingdom, and just information that sometimes open AI is willing to give up and sometimes not. So if you really want to dig deep into this, we know that this is a very deep situation. It's not just government agencies funding it. There's other private places, as I showed you on their website.
A lot of the government funding is money laundering. Get it out this way, get it
right.
back. The whole Ukraine war is pretty much money laundering.
Right.
Like, we're just missing most of the money that was given to us, most of the billions, right? He said he only got 75 billion of the 200 billion or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where is it? And then they're all griping on the left of the commies. Oh, he shouldn't be looking at this stuff. He can't be looking into the details and auditing any of this. Yeah, imagine if they really had a good 2 years to look into this stuff, how much they would find where it's going, really where it's going. Because a lot of things are written down under names that would sort of like the bills that they pass. They give them good names, you know what I mean? But they are bad, you know what I mean?
They're the opposite of what they do. They are.
Yeah, often creative and where it really goes. And often, like the Defense Department, especially, the money just has disappeared. They don't know where it is.
They're
just,
all thieves.
just gone.
Yeah, they're all being outed right now. A lot of people are.
Do you think we'll win this battle? Do you think they'll take Trump down first, or Elon down first, or tie him up so much? Or I know they already filed impeachment things already against him. If they get the House, they'll impeach him. I guarantee you, they will. So, and then that might happen in 2 years if they win the election. Voter ID, I definitely wanted to bring that up. Are we going to get it within the next 2 years?
What?
California, voter ID for voting.
Oh,
if they could get that in California, it would help your election so bad. You got people out there in California voting that were born in 1800, January 1st, 1800. Millions of people in California voting that were born in 1800. You weren't even a state then, for one. So I don't know how that works. I guess if you were a territory, maybe you could vote. Was it even a territory in 1800? Their birthdays are 1800. So if you're born in 1800, you've been voting for 204 years or 206 years. 206 years you could have voted. I don't think anyone's that old. I want to live to 200. That's my goal.
Do you think, Jerry, that we're focusing too much on, is this going to work? Are we going to win? A lot of times somebody's on death row and they get a stay of execution. They don't get a reprieve, but they get a stay where the governor or the president says, no, not right now. And I think that too many people are still celebrating from what happened this past November. And it's like, don't celebrate. The war's just begun. And I mean that figuratively, not physically. I don't advocate for any violence. But the thing is, we have an opportunity. And I think that's the way we always need to look at things. I've had a lot of clients over the years that were professional athletes. I was a therapist for a professional sports team. I worked on Steelers and different people, Olympic wrestlers and world champion weightlifters have been my clients. And they always said that basically the worst part was when they were at the peak, because they knew they only had one way to go after that. So if you can keep it in your mind just to keep going, because
it's hard.
I don't know, Crystal, it looks like, I'm just admiring you because I said you're level-headed, but yeah, you seem to have such a resolve that, and that's what we all need to develop. Yeah, resilience, but we got to have resolve. We got to keep going. We just have to stay.
Like her, like me, when you're fighting like Facebook and YouTube and all that, we get a little burnt out fighting them because they were censoring us so much. I'm glad that some of that's come back. They pulled that back some.
Thank you. I attribute everything to God. I'm a Christian. I believe and a believer. I believe that we're under His benefit package right now, to be in this hour, to be alive, to uncover all this corruption. I feel like we prayed and prayed, and God did put Trump back into office, and all these people that are coming up under him. We're seeing law and order come back, and just knowing
He's appointing some good people, I think.
We do have hope, of course, in Christ, and the world probably will. It does appear to turn, it's turning for a little better, but like you stated, we're definitely in a spiritual war that we must always be on guard about.
Mm-hmm.
There are resolutions that God has given us to show this stuff, uncover this.
When the seminar friend of mine and I are building, it's a 3-part seminar, is that you need to build, work on your physical, your mental, and your spiritual. And if you leave the spiritual out of it, don't bother doing the other two. And that might sound defeatist and narrow-minded, but I am a Christian also.
Oh, that's great.
And it's like, without Jesus Christ, I wouldn't be here right now. I've been through too much. And I just look at every day as another opportunity to maybe make a difference. And, people call me an empath. I'm like, no, I'm just I just feel better with helping people. I think God put that in my heart. So I like to see people get healed. I like to see them turn their life around. But most important of all is I like to see them in a meaningful relationship with Christ.
Amen. That's so true.
I agree, because Ginger or Crystal, I was just reading someone's comment there. Prayed for me after my stroke when I had less than a 1% chance of living even. I've come back from it. I still do a little word search. I can't think of a word or name, but everything else has come back, So in fact, I feel better than I did before. But part of that's the eating thing, the gut health, that's helped some. Although I can't seem to lose weight.
That's metabolism. It's not calories.
Yeah.
You change them. It's all hormonal. It's all hormonal. You don't want to lose weight. You want to lose body fat. But you'd be surprised. You may not have as much body fat as much as you have visceral, liver, and interstitial, fat through your body, and it just it's all white fat, and it causes inflammation in the body, and it wears us down and breaks us down.
Yeah.
So and metabolizing that is a big. That's also that's a big part of taking Lactobacillus reuteri. Making that a big part of your diet, taking it every day. Lactobacillus.
I tried doing the apple cider vinegar and a little bit of honey together and stuff like that. It helped for a little bit.
Well, the problem is that our gut is so damaged that we have something, almost everybody has something called leaky gut syndrome, where incompletely digested foods are getting into our bloodstream and it's compromised. And this bacteria is the only one that repairs it. It's the only one that repairs it.
Make
and
sure
it repairs
to message me that. I won't be able to remember how to spell it or anything. Okay.
REUTERI, reuteri.
Okay.
Lactobacillus, L. reuteri.
Okay. Make sure you
and you just look up Supergut. Go on YouTube, look up Supergut. The book is there. The doctor's there. He does a lot of good videos, tells you how to make it yourself. And once you make it, you never have to buy anything again. You can just make it out of, you buy the milk, and do not use raw milk. Raw milk is dangerous to make yogurt and kefir out of, because you don't know what kind of bacteria is in it.
Do the Greek yogurt, that less calories and stuff. I don't know if that's any good. Greek yogurt?
No, they don't. They generally don't use L. reuteri for making any yogurts. They use
that
acid.
stuff to it. This is the book I read, and that really helped me a lot. It's a friend of mine actually who's been on the channel. I think Crystal's been on with her. Actually, weren't you on with Gita?
Yes. Yeah,
you were on.
That's a good book.
I love that day. That was so.
Yeah, she wrote a book on gut health. The doctors wanted to do all these surgeries and stuff on her, and she did gut health and got better, and she's not on any more meds anymore or anything. So very healthy. Like, she's got a 6-pack for a gut now, and she's like 50 or something.
Now hold it. I don't know which better, a 6-pack or a keg.
She's got the ripples in her stomach now. Says it took her 20 years, but she got there. So I don't know.
Amazing.
And that. So that's closing arguments or thoughts on this. Where are we going on this? Are we going to get rid of these chemtrails? They're still doing it a little bit, even with Trump there. A little bit, not so much. I think skies have been better, right?
No.
Not where you are?
We're so terrible now.
Dennis, didn't you say it was better in Pennsylvania?
Well, on the days that we had clear, I did not see one single chemtrail in the sky, and I'm looking for them all the time. One day I was looking up, I saw jets everywhere, but the exhaust trail was gone within a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they weren't putting anything into the air, but it wasn't like the chemtrails like we normally see. This past summer was by far the worst, and it was crazy. I planted marigolds in May, and they didn't bloom till September.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had tomatoes. Tomatoes just didn't good. And I was talking to people all over. Pennsylvania this part of Pennsylvania is very agricultural and dairy. and also cattle, for, beef cattle. We also have,
You're right along 77 there, aren't you?
no, 79,
79, that's it.
79 and 80. Yeah. But,
77's over in Ohio, the next one.
a lot of the farmers were saying, things weren't producing. And, I have things I basically use, container gardening. And it's what I also, try to teach people to do, because it's better than, you want to be as, self-sufficient as you possibly can.
Where do you get your seeds from, though? Where's the
Pardon me?
Where do you buy the seeds from?
Well, as long as your seeds are heirloom.
Heirloom, okay.
Yeah, heirloom, which is, there's nothing wrong with hybrid. Hybrid is not GMO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you see a hybrid tomato, there's only like 2 or 3 tomatoes that are GMO tomatoes. There's one that's like a purple or black one, and I forget what the other one is. Most of them are just hybrids. And hybrid means they'll take one plant and pollinate it with another plant, and you just get that's not GMO. GMO is when they take like DNA from genetic structure DNA from human blood and put it with the tomato to make it more resilient against diseases or drought resistant.
Wow.
Yeah, they use that with certain plants. Yes. Yeah, there's all kind of really weird stuff that they do. They're just taking it's genetic
They're
patching.
experimenting.
Pardon me?
They're experimenting on us.
Well, gosh, I'm going to get crucified by this by everybody on Webkin. I don't think that GMO. I'm going to say it. I don't think it's all bad, because the problem is that a lot of these plants would not grow in areas that have low precipitation unless they breed them to be that way.
I know that.
I don't want to eat GMO, but I understand that the people that were doing it for the purpose of making it easier to get plants to grow without the right moisture and nutrients, that may initially have been what they do, but I didn't think that they understood the repercussions back then of how they would affect us, and that's where the problem comes in. But if we'd produce more carbon dioxide, which we were doing for a while, plants would be more drought resistant. Yeah, because the stomata, which is basically the breathing mechanism on a plant, the more carbon dioxide there is in the air, the more that they constrict, because they don't need a lot of carbon dioxide. So they also, since they're more closed than they are open, they don't lose moisture, so they're more drought resistant.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say is we have orange trees and we have lemon trees on this property in our community, and they've somehow managed to kill a lot of the trees here with whatever's coming down. And one thing that came down, and maybe some of the viewers did notice this, were a tremendous amount of spider web looking things that fell from the sky. And these spider web things are part of the webinar that I'm going to be hearing about Wednesday night with that one group.
Mm-hmm.
Hold it, Crystal. You're going to do a spider webinar?
Funny. That's hilarious. Definitely not. But I want to know what that was. It fell from the sky and killed these plants. It was really something.
It was all the seeding in the atmosphere that they're doing, right? Chemtrails.
Well, it's something that I can't even speak about, because I have a whole group here that is going to address it, and they're doctors or they have degrees.
Oh, okay. Is there any way you can rebroadcast or go live at that or anything like that? I'll pick it back up and replay it.
Yeah, I've got to figure that out, because they had you could only sign up, and only 500 slots could be signed up with this. And I'm trying to look this up right now.
Now, Are you still seeing any Antifa out there? Or are they all gone?
No, we have I always call them the fire gangs, and they're starting these random fires everywhere. But they blame it on the homeless usually.
Mm-hmm.
So they've managed to.
Well, Trump turned back on the water. Has that helped?
Trump turned back on the water, and I just happened. So you see different people talking about it. I think it's better. I don't see any difference right now.
There's no big fires going on now, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Because once they got reservoirs, they could turn. They couldn't put out the fires. The fire hydrants weren't working. There was no water.
Something.
Yeah, because Newsom was diverting the water back out to the ocean.
Yes, he was.
There was plenty of water. It just wasn't
in
letting
another
the guys
country.
have it.
She was in Africa. I don't know how she's still mayor.
Karen Bass
Yeah,
there.
Karen, yeah, Bass. Yeah.
How's she keeping her job?
They're all.
Anyone else would be driven out by the media by now.
They obviously don't want to find or make any solutions for anything. Okay, so let's just look at the egg problem, right? So they're saying bird flu. I was in a Walmart last week, and there was not one egg in the whole store. So I went up to the one clerk and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Bird flu." I'm like, "Come on!" Every one of the farms that they're getting them from, he said, "Bird flu." And I'm like, this is ridiculous, because if they wanted to, they could pasteurize the eggs.
They heat them?
They could pasteurize them. You raise them up to like 140 degrees. They're not going to hard boil or anything. It would kill any kind of contagion that is on top of it or inside of it. 141
Isn't there,
degrees.
like blue light or something you can put through it, and it would go right through the
ultraviolet. I don't know if the ultraviolet, because the shell is white, it might reflect the ultraviolet. So you would either have to use pasteurization or irradiation. That's the only two things I think that you could do, but both would be effective, and it would solve the problem. But they don't want to solve any of the problems. They want to create crises.
I've had the flu before. I'll take my chances. And he texts, I'm not that worried about it. I'm sorry. And a lot of these chickens will get sick and they'll get better again anyways. So anyways, I'm keeping you real long. I didn't give Crystal a chance to close out. I'm sorry. Crystal.
What was the question?
I don't know. Where were we going on this? Are we going to be able to stop the chemtrails? And
we need to pray for President Trump every single day, and everybody that has been assigned to the new cabinets, and they're coming in and being confirmed. They're making it difficult on him. We need Kash Patel to be confirmed.
They delayed it another week. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
Kash Patel. Yeah, they found another way to delay it another week. They don't want him in there. Whatever dirt they've got, they're getting rid of it.
Tom Holman and Pam Bondi, when I watch them, it's just so satisfying. I love it. And just basically everybody just needs to remember to pray for the administration. I feel like this is an incredible new time for America. I agree with Dennis. We just started. I mean, just the attacks, but it's looking a little better than it did last time around. I mean, they're less effective.
The illegals protesting out there.
They're what?
The illegals protesting out there?
Oh, they really have. A lot of them have mass deported, and I think that a lot of that was
self-deported, right?
That they were paid to shut down the freeway, and then maybe some innocent people came out. But we've seen the stores are empty here.
What'd they do? Come and buy everything or steal everything or what?
They're not here anymore.
Oh, the store. Oh, I thought you meant food. But you meant them.
They're not out. I mean, they're
all hiding. They're gone back.
You can go into any store and check out in just a few minutes. They were brought.
Does that feel nice? The long lines.
Almost. You see, yes, but then you can see the fate of these department stores. They're going to really tank. There's nobody shopping.
Well, you don't have anyone stealing a bunch of stuff either, too. Like they used to walk because they were grabbing $950, $1,000, and walking out, which was more than $1,000 they were grabbing. But,
oh, absolutely.
And they wouldn't be arrested.
There's so much. I want President Trump to be president of California too. We need him, to. I really don't like
It's
this.
possible.
It's hard. It's a hard time. So, but Tom Homan is here. He's here now. KTLA actually out at ICE, and I think.
Well, FBI tipped them off where they were going to go, where the Venezuelan gangs were going to be, and FBI told
the LA Times tipped them off.
That too. Yeah, there was also, I think in Chicago was FBI.
I have a name for him.
Yeah.
Hulk Holman.
Hulk Homan. That's a good one. Hulk Homan.
Everybody, look at this. It's hilarious. I'm taking orders.
It's the coolest one ever.
I love Trump. So I mean, of course, he and Elon Musk. I mean, we're not going to get into his Neuralink and stuff, but this guy, they're killing it right now.
Yeah, maybe he'll come around on the Neuralink. If anyone was going to do the Neuralink, I'd rather have him do it than China or some other people.
You don't want to get into the subject.
Yeah. It's dangerous for anyone to have control of that stuff.
Just look up transhumanism as my ending thought. You do not become that.
Yeah. I don't want it in the wrong person's hands, that's for sure.
Revelation 13. Just go to that scripture next.
Okay.
We don't want that either.
I'm just hoping we get nuked. Well, I told my friends, they said, what are you going to do? That movie came out the day after. That was back like in the 70s, and was, what would the world be like, after a nuclear war? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if you hear that there are nukes coming, go up in your rooftop. Now that's if you know the Lord. If you don't know the Lord, I don't know.
If you don't know, he has a solution. He's building tunnels under. You just look it up, theboringcompany.com.
Yeah.
They've already completed them they just signed with Dubai. It's called the Dubai Loop. And they also have Las Vegas already going, and they completed here in Los Angeles.
So they're getting ready for a nuclear war?
You can hide in their tunnels, but I don't think we're invited.
I see they're storing a lot of food.
Pennsylvania has the biggest one.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Look at it's up around I-80. My buddy that's a Green Beret was telling me about it. It's miles and miles long. And every once in a while, you'll see this like caravan of, military vehicles riding around up there. You'll see them out in the field every once in a while. I guess they're doing spring cleaning or something like that. But Pennsylvania is supposed to have the large. That's what my buddy said. He was in military intelligence. That almost seems like an oxymoron, but he said it's the biggest one in the country. And they have everything there. They have weaponry. Mm-hmm. Like if we were invaded, that's where they would get the weapons from.
Well, people are talking about loud booms all over TikTok. I'm on TikTok. You can find me under PromoGirl07. And that, to me, could be those tunnels. They're making tunnels. I'm not sure. They just don't want us to know about it. So we're not invited in.
A long time ago, I did a video on that where they got miles and miles worth of food stored.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, a lot of meat, especially.
Probably the recalls that we've seen are there. That's what I've.
Probably the good meat.
Are you guys talking about the one that they just had on the news where they're storing all the retired, government input? That's in Pennsylvania. That's another one that's in Pennsylvania. I don't know where it is. Might be underneath me it's too wet around here.
Odd stuff.
Do you have the key to the place to get in? Saying go. And that.
He's over in Ireland now. He was going to take over a pastoral position in Ireland with his wife and 4 kids, but he couldn't get a visa or whatever he needed for their equivalent of a green card. So he's only staying over there for a few months, and he's coming back home. Then we'll start prepping and giving seminars again.
Okay. Crystal's got to run, I think. Right?
Well, I don't know what my husband. I think he thinks we're talking about chemtrails.
Oh, okay.
We was talking about at some point trying to make.
You were talking about ground machine.
Ground machines.
That was spraying to cause it to rain.
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
They do it from the ground too.
Well, yeah, we talked about that. The ground machines, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shooting it up into the air.
There's
And
stuff going on, and
they've got the microwave
Sounds-
technology.
I
Maui.
have a video on my one of my YouTube channels, and it talks about the military. They admitted they were making those sounds. That's right. They were shooting stuff in the air. They disrupt our bodies. You know, certain loud sounds disrupt you. It's
Yeah.
a big topic.
Yeah, when my buddy had 2 tours in Afghanistan, and he was telling me about the disruptor guns that they have over there. They're not allowed to use them,
Is that what it's
but
called?
they have them. And he said essentially they're ray guns. He said what they do is when they're on the certain frequency, they could shine it on an enemy combatant, and the water vapor on their skin comes to a boil.
That's nice.
Ooh. Well, I know that they also, the J6ers, there's some belief that they were shooting some type of sound at such a frequency you can't really hear it, but it irritates people and it causes them to riot more. They can cause people to riot, or they can calm them down, and they try.
Yeah, that's called the Karen weapon.
Yeah, the Karen weapon. There
There's
you go.
there's a lot for us to get into. I mean, even Prince, the late Prince, the artist, he talked about how the planes would come over in his neighborhood and then everybody would start fighting. I mean, there's just so much evidence. People just don't want to look at it. And the
They've been working against us. The government for a long time. I haven't trusted them for some years now.
we have a ray of hope. Maybe this is going to change. So
yeah,
we'll see. We'll see soon.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you both go. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on for this. You know, it kind of bounced around a little bit, but we got into the chemtrails, which is important. Maybe we'll find out more on this. I know that Crystal's probably tired of talking about this, so much information by now, but it's still somewhat relevant. I hope he can shut it down. Kennedy's probably going to have something to do with shutting this down, I would think. You know, I don't know. Hopefully.
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see who these people really are soon.
See how if they're under people just underneath them are truthful to them. You know, that's what really needs to happen. And that
Pray for the best and prepare for the worst.
We've taken one step in the right direction. We got about 1,000 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. God bless everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks. God bless. Bye.